support me.
And
So
now
still, I love
and-
you guys.
And they're
Thank you.
sitting there thinking, oh God, she
When
said
is she
there's
ever gonna
another
stop?
book. Their eyes are glazing over.
I
It's a
know.
fabulous book. Oh my gosh. All of that research, how long did that take you?
Well, it took me 5 years from the discovery of the wreck to the actual last page in the story.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you mentioned there's another book. Do we have to wait 5 years before I get you back on
I'm
the
getting
couch?
pushed a lot by people around here to get on it more quickly, but there's another whole historical bent to it.
Okay.
But I do pick up with the characters from this story. There's a lot of after story to this wreck because Margaret Fuller was so famous. At the time, she was internationally known. So there were so many shipwrecks on Long Island at the time, but this one got all the press because somebody famous was on it.
Right.
So it's just like now, if something happened to you or me, nobody would
Nobody
care.
cares.
But if you're famous, everybody's tweeting and twittering and everything all about it.
And,
So,
and I didn't even realize that there were that many shipwrecks off Long Island.
so
I guess it makes
thousands,
sense.
thousands, because the South Shore of Long Island leads into New York Harbor. And in the early 1800s, it was New York Harbor that was the growth of this country. Out of all of the harbors in this country, Boston, Philadelphia, there was New York, there was New Orleans, 60% of the trade came from New York alone.
Right.
And, at that time, this country was trying to grow, and it was a new country with no infrastructure.
Right.
So if you're going to grow a country, you need two things. You need people and you need money. So cargo ships, and immigrant ship. So it was the most important harbor in this country, and our Long Island shores was the way in. There are thousands of wrecks along the Long Island shores.
I can't
Thousands
tell
of
you
stories
how
to
much
tell.
smarter I feel just listening to you. That's
thank you.
amazing.
And I'm having so much fun doing it.
Well, that's the thing. You're a born teacher. So
Yeah.
writing the book means that now do you give talks about the book
I
besides being a
do,
docent?
actually. And, being that you mentioned teaching, I really feel like I'm still teaching by doing this writing. And that's an important thing for me, and I feel as if
Well, I felt like I was learning. I felt like I
Yeah.
was right there in your classroom learning about
good,
this.
but it was enjoyable too, right?
It was enjoyable.
Okay.
It was no, it wasn't like the teacher saying, "Don't forget
No,
these
no.
dates, 1848, 1848,
No,
1848."
no.
No, instead I was reading it saying, "What happened to Hannah? What
Yeah.
happened to Hannah? What
I
happened
really
to this
made-
one? I hope they get together." It was just not giving anything away.
That's great.
But
I tried,
just
there's a
I
lot
wanted
of tension,
to know what
there's
happened.
a lot of suspense in the novel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what happened to everybody.
Yeah. So it's a really wonderful opportunity for me to continue teaching, and you did mention the historical talk. So the novel's finished, and now I have boxes and boxes of files of information, and I said, well, why am I going to leave them sitting there? So I go to historical societies and libraries, I made up a PowerPoint presentation, and I do the history of Long Island that serves the plot of the novel, but it's the maritime history, the building of the lighthouses. It's the European history, the revolutions of 1848. I had to understand that to write those scenes, because in this novel, you are on the shores of Fire Island, then you're swept across the sea and you're in Rome in a battle on
And I
the
love
Roman
Rome.
streets, and then you're back here again, living the lives of the people here, and then you're on board the ship as you're crossing the Atlantic. So I have the reader in all these different spots, and there's a lot of information that I can give about all of those things at these
That never even
venues.
made it into the book, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Because,
Yeah.
after a while, your family was getting tired of it.
I have old maps, handwritten maps of Long Island. I have old documents. I have handwritten documents by Henry David Thoreau, who was Margaret Fuller's friend, who came to Fire Island to investigate the wreck. And I show all of that in the PowerPoint presentation. So the audiences really like it a lot, and it really is a lot of fun.
Next book, if you want to stick in some maps, I'm a map girl.
Oh,
so.
okay. I'll be sure to do that.
You have one
I'll
in the
make a
back.
note.
You have
Yeah.
one little Fire Island map.
I'll
but
do
I'm-
better next time, I promise.
I'm a map lover, an absolute map lover. Can you tell me a little bit about this cover?
Isn't it fabulous?
It is a fabulous
I'm
cover.
so fortunate because I hired a company who is in like Atlanta.
Okay.
Called can't think of the name.
That's okay.
Anyway,
But they're fabulous.
They're
whoever they are.
fabulous, and they took my Word document and
Okay.
transformed it into the computer document
Okay.
that you need in order to send it to
Right,
Amazon,
right.
etc. And they also had a cover design.
Okay.
So the cover design is really a template.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
pretty simple.
But it's beautiful. That shipwreck is gorgeous.
They had a contract with a company online that has zillions of pictures, and they said, find a picture.
And you found this one.
And it took a long,
bet.
long time, but I was able to find this picture. But that's not, the picture is fabulous. But they did the cover design, the color,
Yes, yes.
the type of
Yes,
lettering,
yes,
the fact
absolutely,
that it's,
everything about it.
they put it together so beautifully.
It is.
He sent it out to me, and I looked at it and I said, that's it. There was no tweaking. There was no need to ever decide that it was anything else to
Did
do
you
with it.
purposely dress to match it because you've got the blue
Well, I purposely dressed because I knew you had a red couch. I wanted to stand out.
Well,
so
thank
I
you.
went blue and floral.
I thought you
like
did it so at the end when we all take still photos and you're going to hold the book like this.
Yeah, actually, that's
this way
yeah,
it matches.
very well.
It does. It's
It
a whole
does,
blue
yeah.
thing
The whole
going
thing,
on
yeah.
there, you know.
Right.
And when we get to Anthony's got
So
black
English
and black.
teachers
you know.
love themes, like we're all about the theme.
I get that. No, it's about the visuals.
Yes, absolutely.
That's very, very important.
Yes.
So I won't even ask you about a time frame for the next book.
It's coming. I'm working on it. I'm researching it now. This next story it hooks up with the after story from the Elizabeth. But this one family has its own incredible story that it'll blend into. So there may be one more or there may be two more because that family
gonna hope for
story
two
is
more.
tremendous.
I'm going to hope for two more.
Yes, I'll be very busy.
Do you sometimes feel like you've done so much research that these characters are actually living in your head?
Oh, absolutely. They absolutely live in your head. You think about it all the time. Even if you're not physically writing, you're thinking about the voice, you're thinking about the person, because they're people to you now.
Yes.
They're not just characters.
Right.
And
they're
you
actual
notice-
people. Yours are actual people.
Yes, they are actual people.
And to think that these actual people are now, they live forever. They're immortalized. Some of them, like a Margaret Fuller, yes, she has a whole society that keeps her name alive.
Yes.
But there are so many smaller characters who are real. You
Yes.
didn't just make up
And they
all those
lived
people.
on these shores at a time when it was like the Wild West out here. It was desolate on Fire Island, and those shore towns were they were burgeoning towns next to a burgeoning city, and it was like kill or be killed. It was eat or be eaten. It was tough. Right. Those people were tough as nails.
Yeah.
I came to have such respect for them and for the historical past because I had this like modern snobbishness. Oh, those poor people, they didn't have microwaves, and those people didn't have cell phones, and those poor people didn't have this or that. But when I learned how they lived, I came to understand we're on the cutting edge right now, but they were on the cutting edge for their time period.
Absolutely.
So those ships that came in, if you were crossing the Atlantic on a sailing ship, it was like you or me getting into a rocket ship.
Right.
They were bold, they were brave, and they were on their cutting edge technology. So I just came to, I embrace them and love them for their bravery and their strength because it was upon them that we built.
And when I read about people in those time periods, I wouldn't have survived a day.
I don't think I would have gone very far.
Really,
Yeah.
I don't think that I could manage a day.
Right.
Never mind, a lifetime. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. On horseback, in carriages, going everywhere.
No
And
indoor
they just
plumbing.
went.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My
Call
goodness,
the witch.
if our Wi-Fi goes down for 5 minutes, we don't know what to do with ourselves.
I know, it's
So no
true.
indoor plumbing kills it. Well, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to ask for an autograph for my copy.
Oh, I would love
if
to.
you don't
Thank you
mind.
so
I
much.
would really be
Yes.